If you're looking for a place to go and find some trophies, this is the place to be, and the charge is no fees. If you're on Xbox and need some gamer score, come over here, I'll help you get some more. My name is Kenzie Retro, the host of the show, gaming news and reviews and all you need to know. Because the weekend is finally here at last. Sit back, relax, enjoy the Trophy Achievement Podcast. The weekend is here once again, folks, and that means only one thing. Hello, my fellow Latter-day Saints. Kenzie Retro, the Moment Entertainer here, the most inspirational moment in all of Asia, back once again for another edition of the Trophy Achievement Podcast, your one-stop shop for all your latest gaming news, gaming rumours, and of course those sweet points and trophies. Sadly, no points or trophies this week, because I was going to do Lego Incredibles 2, or the Lego The Incredibles, or whatever. The Lego Incredibles game that just came out today, as far as the secret achievements were concerned. But it turns out the secret achievements are just basically they're basically just completing each chapter of the story. So I thought, yeah, let's leave it at that. But nevertheless, to make up for it, I have put together, literally just this morning, in fact, my top 10 movies of 2018 so far. Since the word entertainer is in my name, I expanded. You guys may remember that I did a couple of reviews and a couple of predictions. I did Oscars predictions, I did a review of Early Man, and I also reviewed the winners of the BAFTAs, of the film BAFTAs as well. So I did that as well. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my top 10 movies of 2018 so far. And, there's been a juicy amount of movies this year so far. So where do we even begin? So I'm going to have that in place of the points and trophies today. So next week, next week, instead of my usual podcast, because I'm going to be away in Dublin for the weekend next week, I'm going to have my top 10 games of the year so far. That's right, folks. The official return of Kenzie Retro's top 10s next Friday, July 20th. You guys are not going to want to miss it, because it's my top 10 games of the year so far. And there have been a lot of games that have come out. So, talking of games, my latest rental came through. And what is the newest addition to that list going to be? Oh, yes! Boy, you will put this game in your top 10 games of 2018 so far, and you will put it at number 1 to join the universal acclaim bandwagon. Well, Kratos, I'll make that judgment call when I play it. This year's God of War is my latest rental from Boomerang Rentals. A big shout out to those guys, as always. Packages start from as little as $3.99 a month. Sign up today, get a 21-day free trial and 3 free game rentals. And if you choose one of the priority packages, one of the priority or unlimited packages, you can play the latest games at a fraction of what they would cost to buy. Once you start renting, you're gonna start saving. I can testify to this. I've used the service for over a year now, and the savings have been incredible. I've saved over £1,000 from using this service since I started using it last year. And my word, it's all worth it. One of the best decisions I've made in my life so far. That is boomerangrentals.co.uk, the best place to rent your games. I've also got a Patreon set up as well. I'm gonna start plugging that into my videos now. A link to all my social media and Patreon stuff and Boomerang Rentals. Links to all of that will be in the video description below. And that's just basically my video description. My video description is just basically all the plugs for like Boomerang Rentals, the DGR Facebook page and DGR blog as well, to Table Gaming Reviews. Big shout out to him as always. As I've got my Patreon link there as well. Also Twitter as well, at Kenzie Retro. But nevertheless, on to this week's news. There's no screw-ups this week. Hallelujah. Handel's Messiah there. Hallelujah. Or is there? Is there a screw-up? Is there a screw-up? Is there a screw-up? Nope. 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 No. No. No, that's it. That's it. No gaming screw-ups this week. So, here we go. Let's start off strong with a couple of big news updates on Pokemon Go. So, let's get started. Pokemon Go teasing Generation 4 with an anniversary image. Ooh. Oh, that's tasty. That is very tasty. I'll show you the image shortly. This is on IGN. Pokemon Go may be teasing the appearance of its first Generation 4 Pokemon. An image posted to the game's official Twitter account in honor of Pokemon Go's second anniversary includes Chimchar, Turtwig, and Piplup, the starter Pokemon from the Sinnoh region, originally introduced in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. While Niantic offered no hints about when Generation 4 could come to Pokemon Go, the game's annual in-person event, Pokemon Go Fest, is set to take place this weekend on July 14th and 15th in Chicago. So we could even see the announcement in just a few days. The news comes as Generation 3 nears completion in Pokemon Go, with legendary Pokemon Regice currently appearing in-game and Regirock and Registeel set to be released later this summer. Aside from Regirock and Registeel, other Generation 3 Pokemon still missing include Nincada and its evolutions, Spinda, Kessleon, or how you pronounce it, Camprel and its evolutions, Jirachi and Deoxys. I mean, Jirachi and Deoxys, they're legendaries. While Generation 1 was finished with the introduction of Mew earlier this year, we still haven't seen the release of Smeargle or Celebi from Generation 2, though Celebi is headed to the game soon. Last month, Pokemon Go officially announced trading alongside a new friend system, finally adding one of the most requested features since the game's launch. Whoo-wee! So, let's have a look at when Pokemon Go officially released. Because I believe it's this weekend that it is the 2-year anniversary since Pokemon Go. July 6th. My word, it was actually just last week! It was last week that it was... But I didn't actually start... But I didn't actually start playing until the 14th. I started playing on the 14th, which was the day, which I believe
Ah, here we go. This is what we're after. Release, here we go. Regional availability, that's what we're after. Launch. European releases July 13th. July 13th. Let's get Pokemon Go launched up. Let's see. Let's see. Game's loading. Oh, twice I've done that now. Oh, I know what you're talking. Let's have a look at when I started. Oh, nope. That's the section I need. I'm halfway through level 33, by the way, folks. Start date, July 14th. Tomorrow marks 2 years to the date I first started playing Pokemon Go. I essentially got it on launch day. Setting up my Pokemon Go account with tears of emotional nostalgia streaming down my face while listening to the Pokemon theme. I'm not joking, folks! And my word, it was awesome. I didn't actually start playing it properly until I actually got a system that was powerful enough to be able to play it. But nevertheless, so let's see. My Pokedex. I have seen 361 Pokemon and only caught 341. Let's oh, looks like I've got a few gifts to open as well. What are we gonna get? Let's see. Max Potion, Great Ball. Oh, okay. That's fine. And you know what? As for that, I shall send you one back in return. Ah, there we go. I was about to say if it decides to let me, of course. And we have a revive, max potions. I mean, this saves me spinning Pokestops, but I've still got to do the field research task. I've still got to do the field research. Ah, in Glasgow, of course. Ah, there we go. That's fine. Anything nearby? Okay. And let's give it a spin. And now I just need super effective charge attack in gym battle. Easy enough. Right, so sticking with Pokemon Go. Next week, oh goody! Although Articuno Day is only 1 week in the past, it's never too early to start planning for the next big Pokemon Go event. As expected, Professor Willow's next global challenge will offer the worldwide community the chance to unlock a special Zapdos Day event with full of exciting rewards. In order to unlock Pokemon Go Zapdos Day, players around the world will need to complete special challenges on July 14th and 15th. There are rewards for each tier of the challenge, and if everything is completed in time, the trainers will get 5 free raid passes and the chance to catch a shiny version of Zapdos. Ooh. If all goals are achieved, this is what the announcement says. If all goals are achieved, trainers all over the globe will be able to receive up to 5 free raid passes when they spin a photo disc at a gym during Zapdos Day, featuring the legendary Pokemon Zapdos on Saturday, July 21st. And I'm in Dublin. Zapdos will be exclusively available in raid battles around the world for a 3-hour period. During that time, all Zapdos caught will know the fast attack Thunder Shock. That's basically Pikachu. It's basically Pikachu here. You might even encounter a shiny Zapdos. Ooh. Guys, if anybody's able to catch a shiny Zapdos for me, I would be very much appreciated. If the Articuno Day event is any indication, it will be incredibly easy to find battle raids to participate in during the Zapdos events, assuming the community unlocks it. I mean, look how quickly we managed to get the Articuno event. Nearly every gym in sight spawned the legendary when the 3-hour event started, and they stayed that way for the whole span. Zapdos is still a fairly strong Pokemon in the metagame, so players should use this opportunity to get out and secure a few more catches. Okay. Well, like I said, if any of you guys are able to catch a shiny Zapdos for me, I will happily trade one. One of my friends did say to me last week, though, that the shinies are just a bonus. The shinies are just a bonus. Which is fine, I can handle that. Now we've got a few articles on Fortnite Battle Royale. By the way, PUBG dropped their lawsuit on Fortnite because, let's face it, Fortnite were always going to beat them. Always have and always will. Because Fortnite will always be better than PUBG. Come at me, haters. Ooh, hello. Epic Games launches $8 million Fortnite Summer Skirmish series. Hello? This will be interesting. Let's see. Here we go. Epic Games is hosting 8 weeks of Fortnite competitions called the Summer Skirmish series. It announced on Wednesday, and it's awarding $8 million in prize money. Ooh. The Summer Skirmish series starts this weekend with a $250,000 duos competition comprised of community creators and Fortnite players. The format and competitors may change from week to week, Epic said. Earlier this year, Epic announced its $100 million in prize pools, providing $100 million in prize pools. Woo-hoo-wee! For Fortnite's inaugural 2018-2019 season. It will split the money between the multiple events at different levels of competition worldwide, culminating with the first ever Fortnite World Cup in 2019. The championship will mainly focus on solo and duo play, but Epic said there will be plenty of opportunities for competitive squads as well. Qualifiers begin this fall. Sign me up, baby! We're getting behind competitive play in a big way, but our approach will be different. We plan to be more inclusive and focused on the joy of playing and watching the game, it said at the time. That's what gaming should be about, playing and enjoying. Epic has already sent invitations for the inaugural Summer Skirmish matches. It will release more information on how Fortnite players can qualify for an event in the near future. Fortnite is currently one of the biggest online games with over 125 million players. It recently released a new playground mode for people who wanted to just chill and build stuff. Epic is also teasing the start of its next season with a number of mysterious events, including an in-game rocket launch and temporal rifts, paper-mache llamas across Europe, and a hamburger mascot in the desert. A hamburger mascot! Speaking of which, Fortnite map is leaking into the real world as Dirt Burger found in a desert. Fortnite has become real! Oh my word! Everyone grab 2 of each animal and head for the border, for the end is nigh! I'm kidding. A rip in time and space has caused props and objects from Fortnite to be found in California! Oh my word! What on earth is happening here? And it is one of the best game promotions ever. Epic Games, you absolute legends! Ha ha! It may be the world's biggest video game right now, but you really can't begrudge Fortnite its success. But you can't really proofreading, folks. But you really can't begrudge Fortnite its success when it puts this much effort into promoting itself. If you didn't know, the latest incident in the game was a rocket launch that went wrong and opened up a giant Doctor Who style crack in time and space. Now we just need a TARDIS! Smaller cracks then began to appear across the game world, causing things like the Dirt Burger model from the Greasy Grove restaurant to disappear, and then end up in the real world. Oh my goodness me! Right, here we go. Okay. Right. Obviously, Epic Games got someone to put it there on the edge of the... Obviously, Epic Games got someone to put it there on the edge of the Mojave Desert in California. But if you're one of Fortnite's younger players, the fact that the game seems to be leaking into the real world will just about blow your mind. I mean, kids will believe things like this. Next to the burger sign is a fake police car with a sign saying, "This site is unstable. Beware of possible effects." There's also a camouflage tent with a sign that says, "If you can read this, you're in range of the anomaly." Ooh. But on top of that, there were actors hanging around nearby pretending to be Men in Black style secret agents from the game and handing out cards. Oh, this is brilliant. And when you phone the number on the card, this gets better, folks. When you phone the number on the card, you can hear the sound of an object being sucked into a rift. Oh my word, that is brilliant. And somebody actually tweeted on Twitter a picture of the Dirt Burger. What is this? I'm in the middle of the desert. Why is this here? That is brilliant. It was all originally discovered by a random photographer who had no idea what Fortnite is, but fan theories now suggest it's laying the groundwork for Season 5 of the game. The current theory is that Season 5's theme will be time travel, with hackers having already found references in the game's code to Wild West props and old school penny farthing bicycles. It's imagined that objects from different time periods will start appearing in the Fortnite game world, which already seems to have happened with an ancient Greek ship anchor. Ooh. Plus, Wild West heroes have been confirmed by Epic themselves as being added to the Save the World mode. Fortnite Season 5 is due to start on Thursday, July 12th, and as always, Fortnite is free to play on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC, and iOS. But in the meantime, be on the lookout for other in-game items that have disappeared from the game, particularly the giant tomato head from Tomato Town, which now seems very likely to turn up in reality. And somebody responding to the tweet I mentioned earlier, well done, you can use Photoshop. And then the guy responded, here's a video for you. It's definitely not Photoshopped. Walking up to it. And talking of Season 5, here we go. Introduces temporal rifts, golf carts, and new locations. And there's an announcement trailer as well. Let's have a look at it. Loot Lake, 12 days ago. That's after the book. That was after the book. Okay. California desert. Today. Okay. Worlds collide. So that's the title of the season. Worlds collide. The Rocket has brought some big changes to the ever-evolving world of Fortnite. Today marks the 5th season for the Battle Royale game, which follows a one-time rocket launch event that added a huge crack in the sky and plenty of unfolding mysteries to solve. The big changes in Season 5 include the addition of 4-person golf carts, the first proper vehicles in the game, following the shopping carts from last season. And given the game's history with vehicles, we anticipate some issues this time around. That wouldn't surprise me. As for those rifts that appear all over the map, they're now interactive. Jump in one and it'll teleport you to a different point on the map where you can parachute back down to the ground. There are also some changes to the map itself. Moisty Mire has been replaced entirely and is now a desert outpost region. Ooh. Paradise Palms, it's called. I'll get a picture of the map as well. While a golf course has also been added as well. A golf course, eh? Oh. Huh. Hope it's got 18 holes in it. Ah, Lazy Links. That'll be what it is. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, in keeping with the time travel theme, there are now ancient objects littered across the map, including statues and a Viking ship. Here's what the map looks like right now. Looks pretty awesome, don't you think? Paradise Palms and Lazy Links are the 2 newest additions to the map. The new season also means a new battle pass, which includes new unlockables and challenges, and the option to play golf or basketball with your friends. Oh yes! There are a handful of other miscellaneous updates to glean from the patch notes as well. The Nintendo Switch version of the game now supports gyro controls, and for those who've played the Save the World co-op mode, there's a new Western-themed storyline. You can check out the full details from Epic Games, though there will likely be plenty of other secrets to come once players dig into the new update. I'm going to install Fortnite now. What's the... actually going to install Fortnite right now on my Xbox, and I am going to have a lot of fun today with it. And while all that is loading up, let's get some Overwatch news. And a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the newest hero to Overwatch, and that new hero being the official name Wrecking Ball, but he's nicknamed Hammond! My word, this is gonna be... Okay. Overwatch's newest hero, Wrecking Ball, also known as Hammond, has been playable on the PTR for a few weeks now. Today, we finally get to see all the new Hamster Ball tank skins. Some highlights include a legendary skin inspired by Horizon Lunar Colony, the place where Hammond was experimented on and gained his intelligence, as well as a Junker skin tied to his days in the Junkertown arena. And I'm going to have the skins as well. And my word, they look gloriously beautiful. Ooh, the Biohazard one's one that stands out for me. Oh my word, these are just brilliant. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right. Now, we all know... Now, as we all know, we have... As you all know, I've been covering the loot box scandal for a while now. And now here we are. There's been a new development. CSGO players in Belgium and the Netherlands can no longer open loot cases. You're welcome. The CSGO market has been re-enabled in the Netherlands, but the days of opening cases are over. The latest update to Counter-Strike Global Offensive brings some good news and bad news for players in the Netherlands. Steam trading and Steam market functionality, which were disabled last month, have been re-enabled, but players in the country as well as Belgium are no longer able to open containers, which is to say, loot boxes. The market and item trading was switched off after the Netherlands Gaming Authority ruled that some video game loot boxes, it didn't reveal which, were in violation of the country's gambling laws and therefore had to be changed. With a deadline set for June 20th, Valve said at the time it didn't understand or agree with the ruling and had contacted the Gambling Authority for clarification. In the meantime, our only practical alternative is to disable trading and Steam, it explained. Belgium issued a similar ruling on loot boxes shortly after the Netherlands specified CSGO, specifically named CSGO, along with Overwatch and FIFA 18 as being in contravention of the law and did not set a deadline for compliance. How about setting a compliance specifically for EA, because everyone hates them at the moment anyway? That probably won't make CSGO fans who like to play the ponies very happy, but it's presumably enough to keep Valve out of legal trouble, and it's better than the across-the-board shutdown that Valve went with originally. Take note, EA, loot boxes will come to an end. And now, onto some more news here. The Walking Dead Our World uses AR to bring zombie hordes to your door. Ooh. Finnish game developer Next Games and AMC have released a gruesome new mobile game that uses augmented reality to spread zombie hordes through the real world. The Walking Dead Our World, first announced in August 2017, is available to download for free for iOS and Android, and invites you to fend off walkers solo or in weekly team missions with friends. The Walking Dead Our World is powered by Google Maps, and with a game map that landmarks like the Statue of Liberty and Burj Khalifa and the London Eye. Think Pokemon Go, but with gruesome bloodthirsty walkers to battle instead of bouncy little critters. If you're not brave enough to head outdoors during an infection or it's raining, The Walking Dead Our World also offers a couch mode, which lets you slaughter the undead wandering the streets while lounging on your sofa. I'm proud of the team Next Games for creating this incredibly ambitious game that offers players an immersive and deeply personal experience with AMC's The Walking Dead universe, says Timu Hutanen, CEO of Next Games. Combined with both a technically and creatively unique AR and location execution, this game truly takes a fresh approach to the genre. Walker stalking. In June 2017, the company helmed by The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman announced a partnership with Skydance Interactive to create a series of original VR games set in the TV show's gruesome universe. There's been no news on the virtual reality game since then, but this new AR experience should help tide over anyone who's been looking forward to a more immersive zombie slaying experience. Okay. Another game to potentially add to my top 10 games of 2018. Shall wait and see what happens. Right, installing nicely. Used on the Uncharted movie now, and Nathan Fillion teases a potential role in the Uncharted movie. Due to his uncanny resemblance to Uncharted's main protagonist Nathan Drake, actor Nathan Fillion has long been the odds-on fan favorite to star in the Uncharted film adaptation. Today, the chances of that happening jumped dramatically. Fillion, well known for his prominent roles in film, television, and gaming, posted on Instagram a cryptic tease of his potential role as Nathan Drake in the forthcoming Uncharted feature-length movie. And this was... Ooh, hello. Sig Parvis Magna. 7/16/18. July 16th. That's just a few days away. The layer teased is reigniting speculation that Fillion will indeed assume the role of Nathan Drake if and when the adaptation eventually enters production. The actor posted a grainy shot of rapper Drake with a slight wink captioned Sig Parvis Magna 7/16/18. The Latin phrase translates to greatness from small beginnings, which could hint at his ambition to be part of one of modern gaming's most respected franchises. More importantly, though, the phrase is found inscribed on Nathan Drake's ring from the Uncharted games, which he took from the historical English explorer Sir Francis Drake. The Uncharted movie's road to production hasn't exactly been a smooth one. Early word of its existence began circulating way back in 2010, with Mark Wahlberg taking on the role as Nathan Drake. 8 years later, the project is on its fourth, and current director Joe Carnahan, further as Wahlberg is now unlikely to be playing Drake, it's unclear who, if anyone, has been chosen for the role. Spider-Man actor Tom Holland has also been speculated as a potential candidate due to an Instagram post showing him playing Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection for research purposes. Keep that in mind. Now Nathan Fillion seems to be throwing his hat into the ring. The potential switch from Holland to 47-year-old Fillion would mark a starkly different direction for the film than what previous director Sean Levy had hoped for the project. Talking to Entertainment Weekly just last year, Levy expressed an interest in exploring Drake's roots with an actor much younger than the character as portrayed in the video games. It seems unlikely that Fillion's tease is in reference to anything but his involvement with Uncharted, but one can hope some official news is confirmed soon, as the post did include July 16th as a specific date. The Uncharted movie does not have an official release date. Once it enters production, without a doubt, I am sure we will know. This is impressive from Fallout New Vegas. I mean, that game is what, 8 years old now? Anyway, Fallout New Vegas player beats the game without kills or deaths on the hardest difficulty. Here we go. Whenever fans of Bethesda's post-apocalyptic RPG franchise hear the Obsidian Entertainment developed Fallout New Vegas mentioned in conversation, they often tend to heap praise upon the game for its high quality and deep level of replayability. Speaking of its ability to be played through countless times, one intrepid player of the 2010 action RPG has managed to go back to the title and beat it on its most difficult setting, in conjunction with hardcore mode, without killing anyone or dying once. As seen in the video below, the YouTuber and Fallout New Vegas fan who goes by the name Retum offers up what is the finale of his 17-part series, where he played throughout the game by putting all of the aforementioned self-imposed limitations on himself, while only wearing... Sorry, hang on. While only wearing boxing gloves. According to the player, this feat wound up taking him more than a year to complete, as he started the task back in March 2017. This I've got to see. In addition to not having any means to defend himself other than a pair of boxing gloves. Oh, so his character wearing the boxing gloves. Right, that's what it is. That clears that up. During this incredibly difficult run of Fallout New Vegas, Retham didn't even enlist the help of a companion to give him a better chance at surviving. However, the YouTuber did get around certain hard-to-kill enemies by either knocking them out or letting nearby non-playable characters or NPCs slowly do them in, or by luring them toward friendly NPCs who he knew would actually kill them. Taking all of this into account, Retham's Fallout New Vegas run is certainly one of the most epic and arduous journeys that a courier could undertake, as the Mojave Wasteland is already an unforgiving environment for players who choose to use blades, firearms, energy weapons, and explosives to survive it. Should the YouTuber want to best himself with another run in the future, though, perhaps he can not only try to beat it with all the previous stipulations, but also without getting hit or taking any damage. Okay. Okay. That's definitely going to be interesting.
Alright.
Right. We don't use the word fun, says The Last of Us 2 director Neil Druckmann. Ellie's adventure in The Last of Us 2 is not a joyride. Okay. Ellie's adventure in The Last of Us Part 2 is not... No. The Last of Us 2 may be one of the most anticipated games of 2018 or 2019, or who knows when. We still don't have a release window yet, but it surely won't be one of the most fun. That's not coming from me, by the way. That's the sentiment from creator-director Neil Druckmann, who said in a recent interview with BuzzFeed that while developing the game, the team at Naughty Dog doesn't think in terms of fun. For us, The Last of Us specifically, Uncharted is a little different in our creative approaches. For us, with The Last of Us specifically, Uncharted is a little different in our creative approaches. We don't use the word fun. Druckmann told BuzzFeed when asked if the team ever tries to make the combat less serious, we say engaging. And it might seem like a minor distinction, but it's an important one for us. We believe that if we're invested in the character and the relationships they're in and their goal, then we're going to go along on their journey with them. And maybe even commit acts that make us uncomfortable across our moral lines. And maybe get us to ask questions about where we stand on righteousness and pursuing justice at ever-escalating costs. His answer makes sense, and honestly, I'd be a little worried if Druckmann and his team did refer to The Last of Us 2's gameplay as fun. This game is full of brutal violence, as we saw in the E3 gameplay demo. And that pit you feel in your stomach when Ellie shoots a woman in the face or drives a hammer into someone's skull, that's what Druckmann and his team want. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Our aesthetic approach to violence is to make it as grounded and real as possible. And we watch, sometimes uncomfortably, a lot of videos from the world, right? The world that we know, and trying to say, okay, we don't want to make it sexy. How do we make it real? How do we make it uncomfortable? Because art at times should be uncomfortable. Engaging, uncomfortable, I don't know about you, but these are the descriptors I want from The Last of Us Part 2. Anything but fun. The best... Oh my goodness. Wow. Whew. Some Cyberpunk news now. Cyberpunk's original creator hopes fans will be patient with Cyberpunk 2077 developers. We need space, we need time, we need the privacy to mull it over, says Michael Pondsmith. CD Projekt Red is developing Cyberpunk 2077, but the game is based on its beautiful neon brainchild of Mike Pondsmith. Now he's asking fans to be patient with the project, as he and the studio work on getting it just right. We have an awful lot of stuff that we want to do, and it's going to take time to do it. I'm hoping the fans are going to give us the time to do it, Pondsmith said in an interview with IGN. We need space, we need time, and we need the privacy to mull it over. Pondsmith is working with CD Projekt Red on translating the cybernetic world on his original tabletop RPG Cyberpunk 2020 to game design. The good news is that while we might have to wait, it sounds as if the project will be pretty close to his original material. The game we have right now is pretty damn close to what we want. The game we have right now is pretty damn close to what I would have built if I built it alone myself in a broom closet. Interesting. I look at things in there and I just go, oh my god, that's perfect. That's just downright perfect, he says. But to get that kind of perfection does take time. It takes iteration. Pondsmith released the first Cyberpunk in 1988, introducing the world to the high-tech weapons and crazy cybernetic modifications that make Cyberpunk 2077 look so damn exciting. The tabletop version went on to inspire novels, a card game, and even a 2007 mobile game called Cyberpunk Arasaka's Plot. All we've seen of the game so far is a hands-off preview shown behind closed doors at E3 2018, but it was enough to have us considering being cryogenically frozen until release day. Brilliant. Talking of CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt Red hints at a new Witcher game, but it won't be Witcher 4. Esteemed Polish game creator CD Projekt Red has teased a new entry in the Witcher franchise, but it's not like one would think. Studio CEO Adam Kaczynski slammed down any possibility of a fourth entry to the RPG series. US Gamer reports that in an interview with Polish outlet Bankier, CEO of CD Projekt Red Adam Kaczynski admitted that the Witcher franchise signifies a huge value for the Polish company in the future. The first 3 Witcher games were by definition a trilogy, so we simply could not name the next game The Witcher 4. This does not mean, of course, that we will leave the world of The Witcher. The Witcher is one of 2 franchises on which to build the future activities of the company. Today, unfortunately, I cannot reveal anything more. Indeed, it was the decision to buy the rights of the popular Polish fantasy book series with the same name and adapt it into a video game, which brought CD Projekt on the map for most people. The first Witcher game from 2007, while being a solid RPG game, became a success among hardcore fans of the genre. And it was the second Witcher game from 2011 which became a big success. By appearing on the Xbox 360 and thus getting a wider audience, but also by polishing the formula and streamlining the gameplay so that genre newcomers could enjoy the Eastern European flavoured fantasy world. Of course, CD Projekt broke the roof finally with The Witcher 3 in 2015, cementing the studio as one of the pearls in the game industry. The sheer scope, polish and love the studio put into their game paid off handsomely, with the final installment of the trilogy selling well in over 25 million copies worldwide. A gigantic hit for CD Projekt. So it comes not as a huge surprise that the Witcher franchise will continue to exist, but in what form? That is the question. Multiple spin-off titles like the Witcher Adventure digital board game and a standalone Gwent card game have been released, but these offer new ways for fans and are hardly a substitute for the true Witcher experience. But one shouldn't expect to get their hands on a new Witcher game anytime soon, as CD Projekt Red is in the middle of developing their new tentpole franchise Cyberpunk 2077. And that title is possibly going to release in a couple of years. This means good news for Witcher fans, but at this time, it's better to look forward to their other RPG title. Onto the Xbox Game Pass now. October 2nd for Forza Horizon 4, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! The Xbox Game Pass library has gotten much better. What have they added this time? Rocket League and... Rocket League and Warhammer Vermintide 2 came to Xbox Game Pass this week. Game Pass lets you pay $10 a month for access to a library of over 100 Xbox games, as long as you keep your subscription active. You can download and play any of them. Gameplay was an interesting idea when Microsoft introduced it last summer, but now it's great! Rocket League needs no introduction, but I feel it necessary to restate just how awesome this game is. For reasons known only to the internet gremlins who actually run Kotaku.com, it's not on the site's list of the 12 best Xbox One games. Excuse me? Say what? Not on their list? Not on their best list? What the fridge? What on earth? Okay, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Cuphead, Hitman, Fortnite Battle Royale, The Witness, played that, really good, Titanfall 2, XCOM 2, Forza Horizon 3, fantastic, The Witcher 3, hardly surprising, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, hardly surprising, Monster Hunter World, okay. That is a big surprise. But if there was a Kotaku list for the 13 best Xbox One games, you can bet your rocket-propelled soccer cars it would be on there. I don't think I've ever encountered a game outside of a Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart that feels as potentially limitless. Vermintide 2, meanwhile, is a game about slaughtering giant rat men in exchange for rare loot. It came out earlier this year on PC, and in the short time I spent with it since it hit Xbox One yesterday, it played well minus the occasional stutter. The light shining through the grimy trees and dilapidated medieval towns look great, and the melee feel of bashing in the heads of oversized rodents, demonic knights and hulking barbarians is spot on. Like Rocket League, Vermintide 2 is something you can spend weeks grinding through and not feel cheated, which is what I plan to do for the rest of this month. But these are only 2 of the most recent additions to Game Pass. There's currently over 100 other games in the library, some of them I've never heard of, and plenty of others I know for a fact aren't worth your time. Ooh, ouch. A bunch are surprisingly good though, and these include, but are not limited to, Fallout 4, Gears of War 4, Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, Limbo, Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2, Metro Last Light Redux, Terraria, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, Wasteland Director's Cut, and State of Decay 2. There's also a huge array of Xbox 360 and original Xbox games as well, some of which are very good, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Fable 2. Wait, what? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is on Game Pass? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is on Game Pass? Just as well I've got my Xbox up and running right now. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is on Game Pass. Please tell me it's on... What? Is it on Game Pass? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there's Mega Man. Okay. NBA Playgrounds, eh? This one's caught my attention. Now, is that a 2018 release? Nah, it's a 2017 release. Where are you, Star Wars? There it is. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. In all of its glory. Yes. Thank you, Microsoft. Brothers of Tale of Two Sons as well. Yeah, let's... And there we go. 2 new games to add to my library. I love Game Pass. It's brilliant. These games are nice to have easy access to without having to actually commit to buying them on the Microsoft Store. Occasionally the lineup changes as different publishers decide to add new games or pull others, like Overcooked, which is sadly getting pulled at the end of the month. I've already got it. I actually bought the game. I'm looking forward to Overcooked 2. Currently, though, the library has overall been looking stronger than any at this time since it's launched, with many of the bigger games getting added over the past few months. The Division, The Elder Scrolls Online, and Fallout 4, all getting added during this year's E3. A few weeks ago, it was Banjo-Kazooie's birthday. The backpacking bear and bird duo were celebrating 20 years since releasing on Nintendo 64. I reread Kotaku editor-in-chief Stephen Tortillo and alum Patrick Kelpeck's epic discussion of the game, and it was just itching to play it. So much so, I even scanned Craigslist for a few desperate minutes of seeing anyone in a 15-mile radius while unloading the console, the game, or hopefully both. Later in the evening, I booted up my Xbox and started looking for something else to play. I see so much box art for so many games across many screens, it barely registers anymore. But several rows deep in the Game Pass backlog, I spotted Banjo-Kazooie. Of course, Microsoft owns Rare now. Rare Replay was released a few years ago. I didn't need some stranger's Nintendo 64 to play. Just 10 minutes to download it from Game Pass. Boom! Netflix started in 1997, and by the mid-noughties, had began pivoting to streaming. Within a couple of years, the quixotic question everyone liked to pose was, what if there was a Netflix for games? Well, we have one. With services like Game Pass and EA Access, Origin Access on PC, but no one acknowledges Xbox. Nobody acknowledges Origin Access because everyone hates EA. It's not on-demand video game streaming like PlayStation Now or Nvidia's GeForce Now, but in the year of our Lord 2018, it accomplishes the same thing without latency issues or the constant threat of weird technical hiccups. Hopefully Sony, Nintendo and Steam roll out similar programs of their own while we wait for the perfect streaming future to arrive. Interesting. Fortnite's almost done. Free-to-play favourite Warframe coming to Nintendo Switch. Excellent! The same developer that ported Doom and Wolfenstein 2 to Nintendo Switch are bringing much-loved free-to-play title Warframe to Nintendo's console. Free-to-play games still have a questionable reputation among some players. But Warframe is one game that everyone praises for its fairness and its vast amount of content. And now it's coming to Nintendo Switch. Huzzah! The port will be carried out by Panic Button. They ported Rocket League to the Xbox One, who have already weaved seemingly impossible magic by getting Doom, Wolfenstein 2 and Rocket League working on Nintendo's diminutive console. Their version of Warframe was announced at TennoCon, the game's third annual convention, and follows other free-to-play titles such as Paladins and Fortnite onto Switch. Warframe is a third-person sci-fi shooter where the Warframes are alien armor that currently come in 35 different varieties. There are also hundreds of different weapons and thousands of customization options that allow you to mod the equipment however you want. What's really endeared Warframe to fans, though, is how reserved it is about microtransactions, with no need to spend any money on anything unless you want to. There's no release date for the Switch version yet, but you can always get a head start by downloading the game for free now on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC. Okay. Alright, I've been recording for over an hour now. So, what I'm going to be doing now, instead of going into detail on my list, I'm just going to run through the top 10. So here we go, my top 10 movies of the year so far. And they are as follows. But before we get into that, got a few honourable mentions to make. We've got Black Panther, A Wrinkle in Time, Red Sparrow, and Isle of Dogs. Yes, I haven't seen Isle of Dogs yet, folks, but I will get round to it. I only have room for one entry per franchise. I'm counting the Marvel Cinematic Universe as like one big franchise because multiple MCU films come out throughout the year, and I only have room for one on the list. And we all know what one that's going to be. But nevertheless, number 10, Early Man. Number 9, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Number 8, Peter Rabbit. Number 7, Midnight Sun. Number 6, Tomb Raider. Number 5, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Number 4, Love, Simon. Number 3, Deadpool 2. Number 2, Ready Player One. And of course, was there any doubt? Number 1, Avengers Infinity War. Don't worry, folks, at least I don't have the Infinity Gauntlets. But it would need to go onto my left hand. I see. Anyway, there we go. That is it for this week's edition of the podcast. I'm going to have fun editing this. Time for a spot of lunch beforehand. And then, like I said, folks, next week I'm going to have my top 10 games of 2018 so far. Next week, in place of my podcast. I'm going to be busy with everything wrong with Tom and Jerry. 2 episodes this week, 2 episodes next week. So I only need to worry about bonus video for Throwback Thursdays, top 10, and 2 episodes of Tom and Jerry. Easy enough. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, hit the thumbs up. And if you want to be baptized into following this channel, hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. Click the bell to join the Latter-day Saints notification squad so you don't miss anything I do on this channel. I've got the finale to my playthrough of Tarzan on the left, and on the right, my dedicated podcast playlist. Until then, see you tomorrow for Tom and Jerry Sins. Until then, see you all. Have a fantastic day. Peace out. Stay faithful as always.